Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today because we're about to go on a deeply practical, genuinely transformative little journey together. If you have ever felt totally overwhelmed by just how fast the modern world moves, or if you're really just looking for a grounded, science-backed way to find some immediate peace of mind, you are in the exact right place. We're going to explore this profound concept from the 12 Steps to a Good Life framework, and we're zeroing in on a remarkably simple tool that can fundamentally shift your perspective.
So, can you actually change your brain in a single breath? Okay, let's dive into this. Modern life is, well, it's intense, right? The world is just spinning faster and faster as social, economic, and tech changes constantly accelerate all around us. We are literally bombarded with stress all day long. And you know what our natural instinct is? We tighten our grip. We cling to whatever feels familiar and comfortable, just hoping the chaos is going to pass us by.
The material we're digging into today kicks off with this incredibly bold, grounding premise. Life is unmanageable. Now, I know that sounds a little intimidating at first, but it's actually incredibly validating. The text describes how when we resist this unmanageability, it's basically like we're clinging to the rail of a sinking ship while the water just keeps rising. We end up becoming prisoners of our own circumstances, completely suffocating under the weight of expectations. It is an exhausting way to live, but honestly, we all do it.
Now, the biology behind why we feel so trapped, it's fascinating. When we're stuck in that endless loop of worry and stress, we are actually locked into what neuroscientists call the default mode network, or the DMN. You can think of the DMN as the part of your brain that just loves to overthink. It's the main engine for self-criticism. And when the DMN is running the show, we are quite literally trapped by our own thoughts, paralyzed by our beliefs, and shoved into this tiny, rigid mental box.
Section 1. The Science of Awe. The ultimate pattern interrupt for the anxious brain. To bust out of that tiny mental box, we need a serious pattern interrupt. We need something powerful enough to basically shut down that default mode network. And the solution here is the deliberate practice of awe. Now, usually, we think of awe as this random, fleeting feeling that just happens to us. But the source material outlines it as a highly effective, intentional practice. And this brilliantly illustrates the point. The author describes their very first time seeing the Grand Canyon. They wrote, "What I felt was awe, a sense of something stupendous, of something vast and beautiful pulling me beyond my ordinary self." True awe is such a unique emotion. It's this wild blend of fear and ecstasy, humility and profound joy, and it yanks you completely out of that tiny, stressed-out ego.
Biologically speaking, the experience of awe actually has two distinct parts. The first is the perception of vastness. This means encountering something larger, more powerful, or way more complex than yourself. But here's the key. Vastness isn't just physical size. It can be contemplating incredible beauty, immense human skill, or even a moment of really deep connection. The second part is accommodation, and this is where the magic happens. Accommodation is when your mind literally reshapes its internal framework to fit this huge new perception. It's practically a biological biohack that forces your mind to grow.
Section 2. Cultivating Transcendent Awe. A guided exercise to rewire your awareness.
I'm going to break the fourth wall for a second here. I want you to treat the rest of this explainer as a mini workshop. Wherever you are sitting or standing right now, I invite you to actually try this technique with me in real time. To intentionally cultivate this state of transcendent awe, the sources provide a specific 3-step breathing exercise using the acronym AWE. Attention, wait, exhale, and expand. Let's move to the first step and see how this builds, and as we do, I just want you to let your shoulders drop a bit and intentionally slow down your own mental pacing.
Step 1 is A, for attention. I want you to focus fully on something around you right now, but choose to notice it completely without judgment. Just drop whatever expectations you have. Engage your senses and simply observe something beautiful, something meaningful, or even something incredibly ordinary right there in your immediate environment.
If you aren't exactly sure what to focus on, here are a few everyday gateways to attention. It could literally be a little weed or flower growing stubbornly out of a sidewalk crack. It could be the ambient sound of rain tapping against a window. Maybe it's the memory of a specific look in a loved one's eyes. Or, honestly, just the radiant, comforting warmth of the coffee cup in your hands right now. Small things can open enormous doors when you pay true, focused attention to them. You really can find vastness in the smallest of moments. Step 2 is W, for wait. Once you've anchored your attention on that object or feeling, I want you to pause. Just pause in stillness. Take a natural breath in right now and let the experience completely fill you in total silence for just a moment. That moment of waiting, that pure presence, that creates the exact space where awe can naturally arise.
And the final step is E. Exhale and expand. As you let that breath out, just let your boundaries soften. Feel that subtle shift of your own ego slightly loosening its grip. You're opening up towards something greater than yourself. You're letting that presence expand inward and outward, finally stepping beyond the rigid walls of that stressed-out self.
Section 3. Rewiring in a single breath. The anatomy of a transformed experience.
So the crucial point is, look at where we started versus where we ended up. We essentially just went on a miniature hero's journey together. We started as the tiny self on the left, driven completely by that default mode network, trapped in worry, desperately clutching the rail of that sinking ship. But by intentionally practicing awe, we arrive as the expanded self on the right. We become open to connection, our boundaries are softened, and we've managed to achieve a real, momentary state of transcendence.
And you know what the absolute most incredible part of this entire framework is? This profound, mind-expanding biological biohack? It takes exactly one breath. That entire neurological rewiring process takes about 15 to 20 seconds. Literally, just the length of a single breath. It's an insanely powerful tool that you carry with you everywhere you go. It's completely free, and it is always accessible the very second you realize you're stuck in that tiny mental box.
Which leaves us with this final, incredibly empowering question. You literally have the ability to inhibit stress and expand your entire awareness in a matter of seconds. So, as you go back out into your day, if you can rewire your brain in one single breath, what are you going to choose to notice next? Keep that AWE acronym right in your back pocket. Practice it, master it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today, and I'll catch you next time.